Joining us now is Allen County Assessor Stacy O'Day, who's going to tell us a little bit about this new offering. It's called COMPS. Tell us what that stands for and what this will mean for our residents.
Well, COMPS is an acronym for Comparable Online Multiple Property Search, and we're excited to release this to the citizens of Allen County so that they have the transparency to see the sales that were used when we developed their assessed values annually each year.
Okay. And this is going live at the same time some of the forms that your office normally sends out.
The notice of assessments are going to be mailed out here very shortly, and at the same time this webpage will be live so that when the notices are received, the taxpayers can go in, take a look, and see the comparable sales that we used in mass appraisal to create their assessed value.
And this is a cooperative effort. You've been working with a couple of other areas of county government for, what, about a few months now to put this together?
Several months. Allen County has got an outstanding GIS program, and they held our hand and encouraged us the entire way to come up with this wonderful product for the taxpayers.
Now we're going to show folks how this works with a little demonstration here in a moment, but tell us about some of the, I guess, the highlights of what people will be able to access as they go through this.
They'll be able to go onto the site, plug in their address, and then what will happen is a neighborhood will pop up that'll show everybody what the ratio was created in the actual sales that were used in mass appraisal in their specific area, their neighborhood or their area.
And this kind of, I guess, maybe helps demystify a little bit about how the assessing process works, because I know some people at times scratch their heads. They don't seem to understand why mine went up or down or what's going on in the neighborhood. This gives them a better picture.
Correct. A few years ago, the state of Indiana went to what they call a market value in use system, which means when you get your notice, you should be able to look at it and say, back March 1st of last year, this is about what I probably could have sold my house for. Now, remember that it's mass appraisal. It is not an exact science. It's not a perfect science. But we do the best we can to revalue about 155,000 parcels every year. And it's a large task, and it's a very complicated task. But with this new webpage, we're hoping that we've given the simple tools that anybody can go in and kind of basically understand how we got to where we're at.
Okay. Well, let's take a look now and see what COMPS has to offer folks. Okay, first things first, obviously you have to be able to find where your page is, and the best way to do that is go to our homepage, which is allencounty.us, and then you will go to Government, I believe. Why don't you put the cursor on Government, and then down to Tax Property Finance, and there's the assessor's office right there. So you open that page up, and away we go. Okay, tell us how we get the COMPS and what we'll be looking at.
Well, first, if I could, a little bit, I want to tell you about our webpage in general. We've been getting a lot of compliments throughout the state of Indiana on the information that we have provided, so I'm going to hit on that just a little bit. This is the assessor's webpage. We have it broken down into details of the appeals, or the PDBOA, which is a Property Tax Assessment Board of Appeals. If you wish to file an appeal or information about appeals, it's available right here. Rental properties. The state of Indiana now allows income properties to be valued with what they call a gross rent multiplier. That information is actually on here. We have maps, and we have the multiplier maps, and actually you can submit online any income information. That's usually going to lower an assessment from the standard market value, and used income is typically the lower value of the cost or sales approach. We have inheritance taxes, which is another division in the county assessor's office. All the forms that they need to fill out are here. Personal property division as well is located here. And we have an outstanding commercial industrial team too. And also a lot of commercial properties can be valued using the income approach, and the forms that they need to submit for the income approach are also available online. Okay, back to the home page. We've got our featured COMPS on here available, and we're going to go through it and just kind of explain very quickly how you can actually use it in your own home. You just click on the information right here. And this is very typical. This is linked with the IMAP, which is the Allen County GIS. It's their logo. And what you're going to do is put in an address in here, which is your address. And the information come up. Click on the property that's available there, and then click on the little search button. And you can see the property that I had requested has come up here on the screen, which is actually my home. Right over here, the third button, then we have what we call assessment information. If you want to click on this little button, it looks kind of like a vault. And this is a new exciting part. This is the market area and a comparable properties. This is what you can use to compare your properties to see what sales are going on in your home. Click on the market area, and if you notice the area pops up in brown, this is telling me exactly the neighborhood that we used of comparable sales for this particular property. The subject property is highlighted in red, and then if I want to look to see what homes sold, I'm going to click on the comparable sales. And if you can notice here, all of the sales within this neighborhood have popped up and are red. So I can quickly see, I'm going to shrink it so that we can see it a little bit better here. You can quickly see that there were several homes in my neighborhood that sold within the last 2 years. So if you hover over one of the properties, a picture is going to come up along with the square footage and the sales price and the sales date and the age of the home. So if you want to look to see what homes are comparable to yours, you can simply hover over the sales that were in your neighborhood and find out the comps or comparables that you would like to use.
And you say this is for over like a 2-year period.
Yes, when we perform a ratio study, the Indiana state guidelines say we have to use 2 years' worth of sales. That's just mandated by state, and that's part of the mass appraisal approach. Okay, down here is the specifics to the property. We've got the parcel number, the address, the property class, what this actually means. This is a one-family dwelling, platted lot, built in 1996, the square footage, baths, land price, acreage, improvement value, and then the total sale price. And then over here, if you shrink the columns up, you can also move this back and forth if you need more information here. You can click on, if you're comparing the square foot price, the improvement value, you can click and it's going to sort by the data that you're looking at the top here. If I want to look to see what was the most expensive sale, I'm going to click this and it's going to sort it from highest to lowest. Okay. So then again, down here, you can look for if you click on this information, it's going to go to the property record card itself, which is kind of linked back to Patty.
Right.
And there it is. Right, here's the detailed tax information. This actually linked itself back over to Patty, where you can actually see the tax value for last year, along with the picture of the home and the property record card itself, which is going to have the land and improvement values and the actual drawing of the home with the square footages and the year built and so on. So anything that you would like to compare is actually out there. If you want to look to see what the homes of your neighbors' square footage is, you can actually look at that. Okay, we're going to clear the screen by hitting the clear button, and we're going to actually come over and do another search by hitting the search button. Right now you see we've got an advanced sales search that came down. If you click on this, this is a typical search. Click it again, and you have a drop down here with more menu options. For example, you can hit property class and actually select by check marking the box as to which particular property class you wish to look. Right now we've got commercial industrial selected. We've chosen our dates by hitting the calendar right here. Just double click and select any kind of date or year that you're selecting. And the default date is today. And then we're going to hit the search button. And as you can see, the sales for the commercial industrial have popped up. Again, we've got parcel number, property address, the property class type, and then to take the confusion out, we've actually spelled out what the property classes are because those are not something people are familiar with. This particular sale is a mobile home park at the top here. The land value, improvement value, the total value, that would be our assessed value, the sales date, and then the actual sales price that it sold for. If you're looking for a specific property class and you don't see what you want here, you can actually click on the property class itself and arrow down to any type of property class that you're actually looking for. This is a neighborhood shopping center, nursing home, office building, any type of commercial sales are out here, and I think that the commercial brokers of the area are very excited. We actually gave them a sneak peek of this a few weeks ago at their luncheon, and they were very excited to see this feature coming their way. If you hover over these little areas here, it's going to tell you where the sales are located, and then actual pop-up of what type of sale it was, small detached retail, 10,000 square feet, and the date that it sold. So all of these little buttons out here, if you see this, these are actual areas of sales throughout Allen County. When you get closer, let's just see if we can get a little bit closer here to one of these sales. Here is a sale that we're showing right here. That was an office building. Also, along the lines with GIS, you can actually click onto the aerial button if you'd rather see that, and look to see the topography in the river. You can. I think the visuals are much better if you click on the aerial. And again, the information is hovering right over here. Also, for the commercial industrial clients, we're actually looking. We have different layers here, points of interest, the contours, township line, historical districts, subdivision, and important, zoning, parks, the floodplain. All these typical things can be used by the commercial folks by clicking on, turning them on. When you turn them green, you can actually see here that we just turned on the neighborhood association, so you can see where the different neighborhoods are. And again, just be careful of how many layers you put on there. The more layers you put on there, the slower the system could possibly be. Any other questions?
There's a lot of good information out there for folks, and people should be aware. This is all public information.
It's all public information, absolutely. And we are trying to be as transparent as possible so that the taxpayers can understand the task that's at hand. It's a lot of information.
And if people are wondering, you'll have an explanation of how this works if they weren't able to keep up with everything we were doing here on video.
Yeah, besides the video that we just showed you of hands-on, there's also going to be a little help button that you can click through with screenshots and helpful information to walk you through it.
Stacy, thanks so much for being with us and for explaining the new system to folks. I think hopefully a lot of our residents and citizens will get a lot of good use out of this. Thanks again.
Thank you. We're very excited to do it. Thanks.